Oh, Buzz, well, nothing to report. No game, no goal kickers, nothing.
I've got goal kickers and game scores here, Grant. What are you talking about?
Buds?
Well, Box Hill, 22-12, 144, defeated Werribee 14-8, 92.
Well, that's a good point.
It's a good point. Goal kickers, 5 to Savage, 2 to Tobin, don't care about him, 2 to Segler, 2 to Osborne, 2 to Grimley, 2 to Langford, 2 to O'Brien, 2 to Loudon, 1 to Simpkin.
All right, well, on that basis, you must have a top 5.
Best players were Savage, Langford, Osborne, Loudon, Hallahan and Cheney.
Is that how you're going to give the votes?
Well, that'll do. Ripper game from Sav. I think a lot of us would have watched it. And kicked 5 goals, and he did not play as a forward. He might have snuck up there a couple of times, but he put his hand up for a spot. Probably won't get one, but he's done everything he could.
Yeah, well, I think he'll probably be, and we're recording this part early, he'll probably be one of the 3 emergencies, won't he?
I'd imagine so, Grant. I think our listeners are realising that we're recording this before the official teams are announced by now. We can speculate a little and then correct ourselves in about 5 minutes' time.
Everybody say God is a good man.
All right, well, that actually was a very, very good game. But guess what? They have to meet Geelong too.
They do indeed, mate. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Box Hill line up, because we'll know our result by the time they have to play. Assuming we get through, will they keep a couple of players back in case of midweek training type injuries, or will they let them all play? Might get the situation where someone will miss out on playing in the grand final both ways.
You know who it'll be, don't you?
Johnny is a guy who can't make up his mind. He says, I like it both ways.
Spanger.
That's all right. We might just have to give him a supplementary Bardslow medal.
We'll strike something special in his honour.
All right, well, people might have noticed that Wetters is not here, and we're running along smoothly, aren't we?
Yes, there's less frivolity, and that makes things easy.
He's not picking on the goal tonight.
No, he's not picking on anyone. It's a good thing.
Well, we might go to a blast scene if you got one. You must have one after the All-Australian team, surely.
Mate, the All-Australian team, these blokes are kidding themselves. And look, it's not even that Hawthorn players have missed out. They've named Mackie. What was he, the 3rd or 4th best defender Geelong had for the year, playing on the 3rd or 4th tall. And what do we need a bloody 3rd or 4th tall defender on the bench for? What a joke. Hodgie probably should have got in. But what I'm more upset with than that even, believe it or not, was Caro last night. Did you see Footy Classified?
I did. I know what you're going to say.
Caro's Arrow having a go at the AFL for scheduling Sydney to have to play in Fremantle, and they'll have to get home too late if they happen to win, and that'll disadvantage them for the grand final. Bloody hell, Caro, did you not see what happened last year? Hawthorn finished top, won our first game, had the right to the first prelim final, maximum break, but no, we didn't book a ground in Sydney, so Sydney got the advantage of a day's break and ran over us at the end of the game. Hawthorn finished top, Geelong, as it turns out, have dropped the game and finished second. Well, of course we're going to play Friday night and get the advantage. We've earned it over the season. Get a grip, Caro.
All right, well, I'm going to go a fair suck at the Sav. I haven't had one of those for a while.
That's unfortunate for you.
I had to put it away. Kevin Rudd came back and he had a fair suck at the sauce bottle, and I was a bit worried about patent and copyright issues, so he's gone, I'm back. Here we go, fair suck at the Sav. You know, when Buddy took out Malcheski, it was the media saying, oh, you know, Buddy's gone for that. It's a question whether he'll get 2 or 1. Now, Chapman does exactly the same thing, and we have the media saying, oh, I don't think he should be banned from playing. Oh, it'd be really disappointing if Chappie didn't play this week. Well, stiff. Fair suck at the Sav. What's fair for Buddy's fair for Chappie.
Couldn't agree more, Grant. We had Franklin's repeated ad nauseum over and over and over again, and Chapman's and Richards even more so, just didn't see him. You know, we'll see a couple of replays here, but we won't hang him out to dry. Franklin, he had no chance. And I think, to be honest, I'm one to pot the match review panel, but I reckon they got all 3 right. Based on their system, whether you like the system or not, it's a different thing, but there was clear differences in them, and that's what they ran with. So Buddy doesn't leave the ground, so it's negligent, but he gets medium impact, so he misses a week. Chapman leaves the ground, so it's reckless, but he hits him a bit softer, so it's low impact, still gets a week. And Richards didn't leave the ground and low impact, so it gets a reprimand. They probably got him right, probably the most consistent they've ever been on anything.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with that, Bards. That's how I saw them, but it was just the media were driving me mad in their approach to, they thought it'd be really disappointing if Chappie didn't get to play this week. Well, guess what? We don't find it disappointing here on Hawks One-Eyed View.
No, Chapman said that Hawthorn will never beat Geelong while he and Scarlo are playing. Well, guess what? They're both out.
Now, Adam had introduced the Facebook segment, and I'm just scrolling through Facebook, and there was a lot of comments, and a lot was around Box Hill. So well done to everyone and watching that and their comments and their feedback. Welcome to Brad Shepherd, who's giving us a smattering of good pictures and stuff like that to get us all inspired. Well, I had one interesting comment, and that is the amount of the young guys that are actually getting locked away for contracts.
Good, isn't it? And again, as we did last year, just using a week of no game just to roll out a continuing list of players that are signing up, and those who are contracted for next year, they've got them tied up for a couple of years after that as well, which is great.
Yep, we just need one more bloke to sign and we'll be happy.
There's one there to go, and they budgeted for the spot, and if he doesn't like the budget, then he'll be gone.
I'm sure these contracts have got option 1 and option 2. There's the if Buddy stays and if Buddy goes.
Yeah, look, I think they're all pretty happy. One that I did see and love was Anderson signing up, because we've spoken about how he's had been a bit homesick and whatnot. Apparently his girlfriend or wife or partner is now living in Melbourne, and they're really settled, and he's signed on for a couple more years, which is great stuff.
Here I am, I'm signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours.
Right, Bud, so here we go, the not pre-recorded segment, because the rest of the show's pre-recorded, from the back line.
All right, mate, big one as we know, and Clarko's gone, probably the obvious changes here, and coming into the side, Franklin and Rioli, and going out, our man Spanger and young Jed Anderson will sit this one out. So, from the back line, Stratton, Lake and Guerra, the halfbacks Burgoyne, Gibson and Birchall, the centre line is Smith, Mitchell and Hill, the half forwards Bruce, Franklin and Gunston, the forward line Piopolo, Roughhead and Rioli, in the ruck, David Hale, Brad Sewell and Luke Hodge, and the interchange, Jordan Lewis, Max Bailey, Brendan Whitecross and Liam Shields. Emergencies, Spanger, Cheney and Anderson. What do you make of all that, Grant?
Well, that's ruined the rest of the show because Savage is not on the emergencies.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I read them. Then I looked at them and said, well, Spanger and Anderson are emergencies because they've just come out. One's a key defender and one's a utility, and I guess they wanted a key player, Spanger, key forward or back, one the utility, and I guess they just wanted a bit of backup for the backman there, and that's why Cheney gets a nod, who did also have a good game for Boxhill.
Exactly right. Well, all I can say is it's about the game, Bards. And what's this game about?
It's all about Kenneth's curse, isn't it?
All about Kenneth's curse, is it?
Did you see?
I think it's just about winning the game, isn't it?
Did you see some nincompoop at Geelong press conference asked Brett Scott if he thought the Kenneth's curse was real? What's he going to say? Yeah, absolutely, it's 100% true and we can't lose. No, mate, look, huge game for us. They've been pumping us up in the media all week, this week. You know, blokes like Cameron Mooney and all these people saying things like, oh, if Hawthorn don't win this one, they'll never beat Geelong. And they're right, you know, they're trying to use the old reverse psychology on us, but they are right. We're primed. We've had the week off. We've virtually got no injuries. Rioli trained well on Tuesday. So we're going to go in full strength, other than Suckling and Shuey that we've known we haven't had all year. Everything's in our favour. We've rested blokes through the season, so we're not spent. And I think it'll make a huge difference, and I think we'll beat them.
Well, so do I. I'm not going to say much more than how much do you think they'll win by?
I honestly think we're at least 2 goals a quarter better than this mob now. I reckon we'll win by 8 goals.
Interesting enough, I'm going to go 10 goals.
Yep, it's just got that feeling about it. I haven't been as confident. You've always got that lingering thing in the back of your mind, can we stuff this up? But I don't know, just the way they're playing, the way we've played, I reckon we must be right to go.
Yeah, well, I think so, Bard. So we'll leave it to the team to do all the talking, and we'll be back next week to do all the talking.
All right, Grant.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.